She used to say love was about trust, about choosing one person even when the world was full of options. I believed her because I wanted to. Because when someone looks at you like you are home, you stop checking the doors. I met her when my life was simple. I didn't have much, but I had clarity. I knew who I was, what I wanted, and who I was choosing every single day. Her smile felt like a reward for surviving a hard world, and her laugh made ordinary moments feel important. For a long time, I thought we were unbreakable. The cracks didn't appear all at once. They came quietly, disguised as small changes, replies that took longer, plans that were postponed, stories that didn't quite line up but were close enough that I ignored the gaps. I told myself I was overthinking. Love, after all, required faith. I gave her mine freely. When she said she was tired, I understood. When she said she needed space, I respected it. When she said she loved me, I held on to that like proof that everything was still real. The truth arrived without drama. No confession, no apology, just a photo on social media, posted casually as if it wouldn't shatter someone's world. Her smile was the same, but it wasn't for me. Her hand rested on someone else's arm like it belonged there. The caption was light, almost careless. In that moment, I learned how loudly silence can scream. I didn't call her. I didn't comment. I didn't ask for explanations I already knew would hurt. I sat with the pain and let it wash over me like cold water. That night, sleep refused to come. My mind replayed memories like a cruel movie on repeat. Every promise, every late-night conversation, every plan for a future that now felt like fiction. I wondered when I stopped being enough, or if I ever was. For days, I moved through life on autopilot. I showed up where I was expected, spoke when spoken to, smiled when required. Inside, something had collapsed. But beneath the sadness, there was something else too, anger, quiet but sharp. Not the kind that explodes, but the kind that hardens into resolve. I realized something important in that darkness. She didn't just betray me, she underestimated me. I decided I wouldn't be another story she told lightly. I wouldn't be the ex she remembered as weak or broken. If she was going to leave, she would leave behind someone who transformed completely. Not for her, for me. The first step was brutal honesty. I admitted to myself how much it hurt. I stopped pretending I was okay. I let the grief have its space, but I gave it a deadline. Pain could visit, but it wasn't allowed to move in. I wrote down everything I felt, every insult my mind threw at me, every fear, every question. Seeing it on paper stripped it of some of its power. Then I started rebuilding in small, unglamorous ways. I woke up earlier, even when my body begged me to stay in bed. I cleaned my space, throwing away things that reminded me of a version of myself that accepted less than he deserved. I went to the gym not to punish my body, but to remind it that it was strong. Every drop of sweat felt like proof that I was still alive, still capable. Work became my sanctuary. I poured my energy into learning, improving, pushing beyond what was comfortable. Nights that were once spent waiting for her messages were now spent building something tangible. Progress replaced hope. Discipline replaced longing. Slowly, the days stopped feeling endless. There were moments of weakness, songs that reopened wounds, places that held echoes of her voice. Sometimes I caught myself checking her profile, looking for signs of regret. When I did, I felt disappointed in myself, not because I missed her, but because I almost forgot my purpose. Healing wasn't linear, but it was moving forward. Months passed, and the change became visible. Friends noticed before I did. They said I looked different, calmer, more focused. I spoke less but meant more. I laughed again, not the forced kind, but the kind that comes from genuine peace. I stopped comparing my life to hers because I no longer cared who she was with or what she was doing. My world had expanded beyond that single chapter. The real test came when I least expected it. A message from her, appearing on my screen like a ghost from a past life. She said she had been thinking about me, that she missed our conversations, that things hadn't turned out the way she thought they would. I read the message slowly, noticing how carefully it was written, how regret hid between polite words. We met in a public place, neutral ground. She looked familiar but distant, like someone I used to know well. She talked about mistakes, about confusion, about timing. I listened without interrupting, without reacting. When she finally asked how I had been, I answered honestly. I said I was good, not fine, not okay, good. She stared at me for a moment and said I had changed. There it was, the sentence I once dreamed of hearing. But it didn't feel like victory. It felt like closure. I told her I hadn't changed who I was, I had simply returned to myself. The version of me that didn't beg for loyalty or chase honesty. She apologized. It was late, but it was real. I accepted it without reopening doors that were already closed. Forgiveness, I learned, doesn't require reunion. Sometimes it just means releasing the weight you've been carrying. When we parted ways, I felt light. Not because she regretted losing me, but because I no longer needed that validation. My revenge wasn't making her jealous or proving a point publicly. It was private. It was waking up without resentment. It was choosing peace over bitterness. Looking back, I see that betrayal was the catalyst, not the end. It stripped away illusions and forced growth I had been avoiding. She didn't break me, she revealed what I was capable of becoming. The pain taught me discipline. The silence taught me self-respect. The loss taught me value. I don't hate her. Hate keeps you tied to the past. I'm grateful in a strange way. Without that heartbreak, I might have stayed comfortable, unaware of my own potential. Now my life is fuller, stronger, intentional. If she ever thinks of me, I hope she remembers not the man she left, but the one who walked away quietly and built a better life without looking back. Because in the end, the most powerful revenge isn't destruction. It's transformation.